This video title, QA expert Daryl Guberman implores Union IAM 751 to get the board of directors of Boeing to take away the $45 million that David Calhoun, CEO, former CEO, is going to be getting in December. I don't care whether it's done in a contract. Contracts are made to be broken. They all are. You see it all the time, every day. I tell you this as a fact. He got a 45% raise. I was there when Senator Hawley from, I think it's Missouri, on June 18th said that to David Calhoun. David Calhoun was very skittish. He says you can find it on, it's public knowledge. And Hawley said it's a very substantial amount. And David Calhoun said yes. And Hawley said, what is it? He says $32 million for an accountant, not even not even a person immersed as an engineer or someone from some sort of technical background. He's an accountant, a pencil pusher. He has made enough money being on the board from 2009, and then he became the CEO from 2020 to present. I do not think that he should get away like Dennis Muhlenberg did with $60 million. I call it a death benefit. And he was blamed in some ways for lack of management and all the rest of that for the Ethiopian Air and Indonesian Air. It started with the FAA, ladies and gentlemen. When the FAA made Boeing a regulator in 2009, it started with them. They came in and they made some of the employees at Boeing. And as you ladies and gentlemen know at IAM 751, I'm sure you know it, that the FAA at the time would have said, we don't have enough employees to do this, so we're going to make Boeing employees. The thing about it is that when you have them designated as an FAA inspector getting paid from Boeing, that means each CEO from Jim McNerney, who started the 737 MAX program, to Dennis Muhlenberg, to also David Calhoun, they are all a pale FAA administrator. It has to be. They're full-time FAA being paid by Boeing. That's why. If they were not paid by Boeing, I would not say this. But by them being paid by Boeing and by the FAA coming in and making them an inspector that can, all the new aircraft technologies, they can buy out. They can buy out the aircraft design. That's why I was there on April 17th supporting Sam Salipar, the whistleblower about the 777, 787 design issues. They could buy out the designs. They could buy out the computer systems like the M.KHAN system. And this is a problem because those three CEOs were basically administrators. So I implore the union members, other than the contract, this is a side to it. This is a bonus that you should all receive. Take David Calhoun's $45 million and split it amongst evenly 32,000 employees would be $1,406. This would be a benefit to you and your family. Then you can go home and sit back and say, yes, all your sweat and tears, it was taken away from David Calhoun and given to us. That's what you should do. Go to the board of directors, Stephen Mollenkopf. Go to him and make your proposal. Because I am a shareholder of Boeing. I was there April 17th. You can look me up, Daryl Guberman, Boeing, DARYL Boeing, BOEING. And you will see me hit images and you'll see me standing up with some of the paperwork that I handed in to Richard Blumenthal, the DHS chairman. And the DHS, and I've said this before, the DHS is in bed with Boeing by the simple fact is that they sit on the American National Standards Institute and the American National Accreditation Board, okay? And they're not just a member sitting over by Boeing and the FAA and all this, but the DHS is also a customer of ANSI, ANAP, the accreditation body / underwriter for Boeing. I've told you this. So I implore you again, and as a shareholder, it would be beneficial and move the company ahead if you got the $45 million that David Calhoun is supposed to get. And I don't care, contract, schmondrack, the board is the board. Break it and do it, okay? And if he takes Boeing to court, it's get drawn out. And remember this about the law. A good lawyer knows the law. A great lawyer knows the judge. Always remember that. And as I got an email from a lawyer of 40 years, he said, both state and federal courtrooms are no more than blue smoke and mirrors. So I implore you again, ladies and gentlemen, I am 751, and I will tell you this as well. Get that $45 million and have it split equally. It would be $1,406 and change. I implore you to do this. It would be a benefit to all your families. Other than the contract itself, go to the board. Demand the board. If you want me to come out to Washington, I'll gladly do it. 203-556-1493 or Daryl, DARYL, @yahoo.com. And by the way, the problematic issue that you have with the new leadership, okay, and I've gotten scolded over this. You can't blame them. Oh, yes, you can. And I call him the Charles Manson of aerospace because Charles Manson was the CEO of his family. The family killed 9 people. Robert Kelly Oberg is the CEO of his Rockwell Collins family. During the time of his term, in some time, he was there during the design, the manufacture, and implementation of the MCAS system. That said, and I hate that term, but that said, that means that he was the family of Rockwell. He was the leader. And when the MCAS system failed on those 2 planes, and Boeing did not have to tell anyone, as the DOJ is saying that Boeing lied to the FAA, because as I told you, Boeing was made FAA equivalent in 2009. You have an issue where Robert Kelly Oberg is the family of Rockwell Collins, which means that those 2 planes that went down, he's got 348. That's a hell of a lot more than 9 people, but he's got 348 souls that are attached to him. And I'm kind of not a superstitious man, but anything he does, okay, is not going to be the best. And it's not his desire, but it's the heavens that make this, okay? And that's it. That's all I'm going to say. And by the way, in 2009, Boeing was made FAA. In 2019, a spokesperson, I was told today, well, Daryl, he didn't know what he was talking about. You know something? Before, in a federal agency, you have to ensure the integrity of the agency by telling facts. And he said that this spokesperson said, the FAA would never allow any company to be a police or self-regulator or self-certifier. Well, that's a hell of a difference from the article we have in 2009 where it says the FAA made Boeing a self-certified organization, which means they are the FAA. They didn't have to tell anybody shit. The airlines, the CEOs of the airlines, the pilots, they didn't have to do anything. So they didn't lie to anybody. They were just following what the FAA did, made them a regulator for, at minimum, 10 years. Again, I look forward to hearing from you. I am 751. I am in your corner. Ask for the $45 million. David Calhoun does not deserve it. He really doesn't. He's made his money. 2021, 22, 23. Google his salary and add them together. It's probably over $100 million. Well, close to $100 million he's made in the 3 years as CEO, other than the board membership from 2009 to 2019 for 10 years. I leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. I do it because I give a damn. Again, 203-556-1493 or Daryl, TQRS @yahoo.com. And here it goes from David Foster Wallace, and I changed it just slightly. The truth will set you free, but not until Daryl Guberman is through with you. And we've only just begun. Ladies and gentlemen of Union 7 of AM 751, do the right thing for your employees. I look forward to hearing from you.